Series, he's 2 for 9. And the fastball again, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jefferson hitting .360 against the Mets this year with 9 hits and 25 at bats, no runs batted in. And the curveball, the strike, and it's 1-2. Eric Gregg, the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis at first base, Steve Ripley, I should say, at second base, and Dick Stella, the umpire, at third. And the fastball again, just off of the plate, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mets has a team leading the National League at hitting at .273. Padres are 5th in the league, tied for 5th at .264. And the high curveball fouled away. Little Bandy's job right there.
That's Shane Mack, who was the center fielder last night, made that diving catch of a ball hit by Gary Carter. Great play, too.
And this one hit to the shortstop, Santana. He gets a nice Hollywood hop. And he picks up the out at first base.
Here's the third baseman, number 5.
Curveball tapped weakly towards Santana. And look at that hop that Ralph was talking about. Routine.
Shortstops love those nice high bouncers. Santana, good break in that ball to play it well. So 1 away as we get underway. And the batter will be Randy Reddy. Randy batting .304 for the year with 4 home runs, 38 runs batted in. A home run in last night's ball game. And a strike call by Eric Gregg. Randy Reddy 3 for 7 in this series, hitting .250 against the Mets. And the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. He didn't have a whole lot of chance to play for Milwaukee. And picked up by the Padres, doing a fine job. He was behind Paul Molitor. And Paul, of course, an outstanding player, and he has hit in 37 consecutive ball games as of yesterday. 2-1, and the pitch, a fastball, fouled back, 2-2.
Try to keep you up to date on the progress of the Milwaukee game. Kansas City playing at Milwaukee this afternoon.
Since June 1st, Randy Reddy has hit .342.
Charlie Leibrandt going in that game for Kansas City. Charlie's having another good year, 12-9. So Molitor has his work cut out, but of course he has for the last 5.5 weeks. 37 in a row.
Tap back over the mound, another high hop for Santana, and he turns it into another out. Well, Dwight Gooden in the daytime, as you can see, with an 18-13 record, and at night he's 50-10. All players today say it's easier to play at night, but as far as Dwight Gooden is concerned, it's no contest.
It's easier for him to play, but not the hitters.
That's right. And the fastball to Tony Gwynn, the National League's leading batter, and he takes for ball 1. Gwynn hitting .367, 6 home runs, 47 RBIs. And the curveball hit in the air to left center field. A lot of hang time. McReynolds is there, and he puts it away. So Tony Gwynn flies to deep left center, and the Padres go in order. And the score at the end of 1/2 inning, the Padres nothing, the Mets coming up. Now here's a word from the good old guys. Palm Springs and Los Angeles.
You know where it is then, huh? I'd never heard of it. Asked Dave Campbell, one of the announcers for San Diego. He did say it was east of L.A., but
that's up about 3,000 feet in the air, and a nice resort town, as a matter of fact. A lot of people go there for their summer resort action. And, of course, he attended UCLA, signed after his junior year. And the left-hander with his first pitch, a fastball for a ball. Mookie Wilson leading off. Mookie hitting .291, 7 home runs, 28 RBIs. And hit off the hands. The bat flies by Randy Reddy, but Reddy's ready. And he picks up the out.
Boy, that bat like a spear going down toward third. Fortunately, not near. Ready. Randy, you saw him duck down after he caught the ball, not knowing where the bat was. Peripherally, I guess he knew it was someplace to his left, but that was very dangerous. That bat with that pointed end on it.
So 1 away and a bat away. And Tim Tuefel, the batter. Tuefel hitting .337, 10 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Brings a 5-game hitting streak into this game, hitting .500 over the 5 games, 6 for 12. In his last 8 games, he has had base hits in 7 of the 8. And the fastball a called strike. Tuefel hitting .400 in his last 8 ball games with 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a fork ball. He has 2 types of fork balls, or split finger fastballs. One that he tries to throw behind in the count just for a strike, and the other hard one when he's ahead in the count. And of course, that was the hard one. Looks like if he gets that over, this guy's got great stuff.
And this ball hit to deep left center field, but it'll be playable. Stan Jefferson gets to it and makes the. When you see a pitcher for the first time, this one hits Hernandez right in the helmet. Try to get out of the way of that pitch, duck down into it.
Well, everybody booing here, but I mean, that's a breaking ball right there. Keith laughing.
He just ducked down. The curve followed him right down to the ground.
That's right.
I had that happen to me in the Polo Grounds one time. A high hanging curveball. I tried to get out of the way and it just followed me right on down.
Kept going, huh?
Darryl Strawberry.
Now, Keith, one of 2 Mets who do not wear that ear flap. Now watch the breaking ball. Boom, right off the top of the helmet. I had a ton of foul tips hit off the top of the helmet. It really doesn't hurt when he hits off the top like that. Now, if it hits on the side, then there's that concussion. That certainly occurs, not concussion of the head, but the concussion of the helmet against the head. So Keith's all right, though.
Obviously okay as he laughs it off, and now the Mets with a base runner with 2 men out and Darryl Strawberry at the plate. And the first pitch is strike call. Strawberry hitting .283 with 30 home runs, 74 runs batted in. Been at bat 400 times officially. And this ball in the dirt dug out by Santiago. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strawberry hitting .379 over his last 7 games with 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in. Darryl is hitting .417 against the Padres this year with 3 home runs. This ball hit high in the air to right field, but playable. And Glenn lost the ball out there. Now he picks it up and tracks it down into the corner as Glenn lost the ball in the outfield.
Lose the ball in the sun. That's not necessarily embarrassing.
And Camilo Martinez hits a fly ball to right field. Strawberry has no trouble with it.
Yeah, outs there are.
And this ball hit down to Santana. And this pitch to Marvell Wynn hit out to left field, and it should be playable. Kevin McReynolds playing the sun field and making the play. Wynn hitting.
Well, let's, well hit deep left, way back, out of here. Home run number 31 for Howard Johnson. So Casey wasn't at the bat, and Howard didn't strike out.
And Blake and Flynn weren't on second and third, as it was a solo home run. So Johnson takes the club lead in home runs with his 31st.
Man, I mean, he scalded that ball. Woo!
Oh, here it is, a nice high fastball, and Howard Johnson all over it. And there was no doubt about it. Mets 151st home run and 31 now for Howard Johnson.
You talk about getting all of it. 1-0 New York. And Barry Lyons, the batter. Barry's heroics the last game against the Giants. Last game he started, and he rips this one. Foul ball. home run coming last Thursday afternoon. As you look once more at Howard Johnson. Been going around those bases a lot of times this year.
31 times this year, and Howard hitting so much better from the right-hand side of the plate. Of course, he didn't play that much batting right-handed with the situation last year.
0-1 to Barry Lyons. Forkball is fouled off, so it's 0-2.
That's his 14th home run as a right-hand batter. He's hit 17 as a left-hand batter. With Ray Knight here, he didn't play against a lot of pitchers because of the two-platoon system.
You're watching Mets Baseball 87 on WWOR-TV, Secaucus, New Jersey. Glad you've joined us this afternoon. Mets jumping out on top of the Padres for the first time in 3 games. The Padres have really come after the Mets. They beat them 6-2 Friday night, 8-3 last night. Another big crowd on hand. They're even coming through the seams here at Shea. Lyons fouls one off deep to left. Still 1-2.
Well, the Mets have scored first. They have won 45 and lost 22.
So to wrap up the Ask Tim and Ralph segment of this second inning, the score was 4-2, and the guys left on were Blake and Flynn. Line drive, foul.
You know,
I'll tell you, we're going to have to start pulling for each other. I think we got too many people pulling against us.
You just went in the first. Well, obviously the guys running the contest are against us.
There's no question about it. These are impossible answers.
They're out to make us look as bad as they can.
That's right. That Bill Webb going to leave us with a lasting imprint of his work. Forkball off the shoulder of Santiago, so it's 2-2. Eric, a delightful guy. Mentioned he went to UCLA, only his 3rd year in professional ball. 3-8 for Spokane back in '85, 12-9 for Charleston last year, and he was pitching for Reno in the California League this year. Was 3-4 for them. Fly ball right field. Tony Gwynn picks this one up in a hurry and makes the play. 2 outs here in the second. And the batter, Rafael Santana.
Nolte started off in his first major league start, pitched a 6-0 win. He went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 7. That's a good way to start. It was against Houston in Houston.
Rafael Santana.
Then his next start against Houston again, but in San Diego, he went only 3 2/3 innings, and even though he gave up only 1 earned run, he walked 7 in 3 2/3 innings while striking out 1. His loss, a 2-1 loss to Zane Smith in the Atlanta Braves. He's 1-1 on the year. So he can get wild. 1-0 to Santana. Fouls sharply by the Padre dugout and into the stands. What a lovely, I mean lovely afternoon. Low humidity. Cerulean sky with those clouds. Looks like a picture just pasted against the sky. Really a pretty day.
Those puffy cumulus.
The forkball, Santana went too far, says first base umpire Jerry Davis, and I tend to agree with him.
You don't see many left-handers throw that split finger fastball. It's been thrown by right-handers.
Left-handers really don't need it. Their stuff usually is good enough.
In the Equitable Old-Timers game yesterday in Chicago, they had Hoyt Wilhelm out there throwing that knuckleball. Can you imagine a guy doing that to you?
Or that to Santiago. That ball ricocheting around the stands behind home plate like a pinball machine. 2-2 to Santana. Check this pitch out.
This ball flying out of the dirt off the shoulder of Santiago.
Fastball, one hopper to third baseman Randy Reddy, and he throws out Santana. But the Mets take the lead on the 31st home run by Howard and 31 RBIs. Line to left. So Templeton, who was 3 for 19 against Gooden before that hit, is on first base.
Second baseman, number 11, Tim
Well, here is
Flannery.
the pitcher, Eric Nolte, going to the bench, and Larry Boa, the manager of the Padres, talking to him. Boa, of course, the new manager of the Padres this year. There's Galen Cisco, the pitching coach, listening in.
You imagine Larry Boa telling him to relax?
He's
That's
wound
like
up
me-
like a top,
That's
isn't
like me telling you to be calm.
he? Or those clues. How about those clues?
Tim Flannery, the batter, swinging a miss. Not many of the Padres have had success against Gooden. Dwight 5-2 lifetime against San Diego. He's pitched very well. He was 2-0 last year. Not the type of pitcher you would want to hit and run against, but Boa playing that running game. Templeton has 7 stolen bases in 10 tries.
San Diego's had 9 stolen bases in 5 games on this road trip, and they didn't have any yesterday. So they've been running.
They're second behind the Cardinals. 148 stolen bases. The Cardinals over 200 again. Or right close to 200. And foul back, so it's 0-2 to Tim Flannery. Pepper Potts, second baseman.
Well, the Horowitz watch, day 8. Actually, Jay has escaped from Chicago. He's in Clifton with his 2 buddies, Whitey and Mo.
There is Katz.
Yeah.
And his mom. O.J. obviously watching the game today, recovering from a bout with the chicken pox. The good news is you can only get it once. There goes Templeton, strike 3. The ball is into the arm of Gary Templeton. Gary appears to be hurt on the throw, but Flannery, line drive. There's Santana, the throw to second, not in time. So Nolte hit by a lot of pitches. Curveball, fly ball to center, and there's Mookie Wilson. So Mookie was there, no runs.
Bad.
You got to have the right friends. Telling you, Gooden on the first pitch lifts one to right, and Gwynn has no trouble. Fly ball right field. Gwynn's had a busy day. That's his 4th putout. 2 out here. Ripped down the left field line, fair ball. And that is the prototypical Tim Tuefel hit. Also had a 13-game hitting streak. Sharply to second. Flannery throws out Hernandez.
And the first pitch as Dwight Gooden works here in the 4th inning. A fastball, and Randy Reddy takes it for ball 1. Randy grounded out his first time up. Nolte was a 6th-round selection of the Padres in the 1985 June draft. So he hasn't been in pro ball very long. Randy Reddy with a 1-1 count. That makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. Randy, one of the few hitters that hits from an open stance. This ball hit the right center field. Strawberry hustling over, and he can't get it. It's off of the glove and picked up by Mookie Wilson. Reddy on his way to third base and holding there. So Randy Reddy coming up with what appeared to be a 3-base hit.
Again, Ralph, the outfield not playing well together. Mookie Wilson and Darryl Strawberry. Straw didn't get a real good jump on the ball. Normally would have been his. Mookie Wilson's eyes. He looks at Darryl Strawberry because Darryl Strawberry's coming too hard at him. The center fielder has preference. You see him take his eye off the ball because he sees where Darryl Strawberry is. Darryl has got to play off of Mookie Wilson in that situation, and Mookie just got out of the way. That's why the ball went through for a triple.
So that puts a time run at third base with no one out and brings up Tony Gwynn, who's leading the National League in hitting.
It's been a poor year for the Mets in that one category. the outfield playing together. They have really had a bad season.
And the fastball, a strike call. Gwynn flied out to fairly deep left field his first time up.
You see them coming at each other. Strawberry never picks up Mookie Wilson at all, and he's got to. If Mookie Wilson doesn't get out of the way, that's a terrible, terrible collision.
1 strike they count to Gwynn, and the fastball inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, it would have been a mess, wouldn't it?
It would have been, and actually Mookie Wilson is not the guy, as I said, who was supposed to be picking up the other outfielder. Had he not done that, we would have seen arms and legs going everywhere.
1 ball, 1 strike. Let's have their infield back at first, second, and short. And Gooden catches the outside corner with a fastball. So it's 1-2.
Gwynn not liking that call. He's not the kind of guy that gets on the umpire. Eric Gregg does have a wide strike zone.
84, Tony Gwynn led the league in him with that 351 average. And he's got a great shot at leading it again this year. Curveball and hit foul down the left side.
In this kind of a situation with Dwight Gooden, Gwynn does not strike out a lot. Dwight has such an outstanding curveball, you would think throwing in that kind of a situation might be good. I don't know against a Gwynn, giving him an off-speed pitch that he can really handle with a man on third and the infield back, especially through the middle, it's like giving up the run.
Goes back to the fastball, and it's fouled into the stands. So Gwynn way behind that fastball. Gooden has struck out 1. Flannery back in the third.
Gwynn is approaching Dwight Gooden now as an inside-out hitter. It does not mean he can't pull the ball, but he's trying to be strong through the middle. He wants to make some contact here. He can tie the game up with a ground ball to the shortstop or to the second baseman.
And the fastball for a ball. It's 2-2.
And he knows he's got to cover that plate, Ralph. After the second strike that was called by Eric Gregg, he knows he's got to cover a little extra on that outside corner.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Time run at third base, and Gooden steps off. Cardinals got a run in the top of the first. They lead Cincinnati 1-0. And again, the fastball. That puts the count at 3-2.
In that Cardinal game, it's Cox against Gullickson.
Gwynn has had 5 hits and 27 at-bats against Dwight Gooden, with 1 run batted in his major league career. 3-2 the count. And the fastball fouled off again. And again, Gwynn way behind the pitch.
I think if you're going to be successful with Tony Gwynn, the most successful you can be is you have to almost intimidate him inside. You have to pitch the ball inside on Gwynn to have a chance at the outside part of the plate. If you don't make him aware inside, he's gonna hit 360 like he is right now, Ralph.
Outstanding batter. And as you pointed out, Rusty, he does not strike out often. Got caught looking yesterday. 3-2 pitch, and it's hit down the line. It's foul. So all those fastballs, Gwynn has been behind the ball, but there's a reason for that. He's protecting.
He certainly is.
He's defensive, and when you see a batter hit fastballs that way, you're a little leery about throwing him anything that's slow, any off-speed pitch.
That was my point early.
Yeah. Because that means he's ready for something that would be slower. Now, if he were pulling those balls down the right side, you'd say, okay, give him the curve.
I'm with you all the way, pal.
3-2. Curveball out of the strike zone. So Gooden wins that one.
Well, he does exactly what you hope could happen in such a rare occasion. He throws a ball, and Tony Gwynn swings at it and makes it a strike.
Instead of ball 4, it's strike 3 and 1 big out. That brings up Martinez, and he is 0 for 1, flying out to right field his first time up.
That is probably the perfect location to get a left-handed hitter out in any situation, but particularly in that one.
And Gooden's fastball hit out to Santana, and it's off of his face, I believe. And the run scores. So it's a tie ball game as Randy Reddy scores from third. And we'll see how Santana is. Ball deflected up into, I believe, his forehead.
Well, it certainly moved those glasses around on his head. He doesn't seem to have any pain here, but it goes by and it hit his glasses. Knocked his glasses completely around the side of his head. That was a bad hop. Rafael Santana was very lucky there, just getting his head out of the way. That might have scraped his nose or something when the ball hit the glasses, but it did not look like the ball hit him in the head.
So a runner at first base, a run in, a tie ball game at 1, and the batter is Benito Santiago. Santiago hit a soft line drive to Santana's first time up and was out. Martinez credited with a base hit. And this is a ball hit down to Johnson, who takes it on one hop. The throw to Tuefel and on to Hernandez, and that'll do it. But Strawberry, the lead off. Darryl flied out to right field his first time up. Darryl 3 for 9 in this series. Came into this game hitting .417 against the Padres with 10 hits, 3 of them home runs. On the mound, Eric Nolte making his first appearance ever against the Mets. Came into this game with a record of 1 win and 1 loss. And the fastball grounded foul. Strawberry in his last 7 ball games hitting .379 with 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. In his last 29 games, he's had 9 home runs.
Reminder that the Mets have struggled in the daytime. 20 and 23 in the day. 3 under 500.
And this one fouled again. It's strike 2. Strawberry almost had a base hit his first time up when he hit a high towering fly to right. The ball was lost by Tony Gwynn, but Flannery, the second baseman, pointed to where the ball was, and Gwynn picked it up and then made the catch. And the split finger fastball or forkball in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There we go.
Got a little ear hair in there, Rusty.
What a great shot.
And the fastball fouled away. So the count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Darryl's 30 home runs, a career high. This ball is hit deep to right. It's gone. Goodbye. 31 for Darryl Strawberry, and the Mets lead it 2-1.
Here's a pitch. It's an off-speed pitch. Looked like a curveball. Strawberry got all of it. Second tier right over the scoreboard. He knew it when he hit it. Went right into his Cadillac stride.
So Darryl tied up again with Howard Johnson for the club lead. That's the 3rd home run given up by Eric Nolte. 1 to Howard Johnson here today for his 31st, and 1 to Darryl Strawberry for his 31st. Kevin McReynolds, the batter. And the off-speed pitch is swung on and missed. McReynolds struck out his first time up. Eric Nolte back to McReynolds, and he swings and fouls it. So the count stays at strike 2. McReynolds coming to the Mets from the San Diego Padres. Strawberry explaining it to Mookie Wilson. Again, that forkball, and it's in the dirt for a ball, and it's 1-2.
With a young pitcher and a young catcher working together, after giving up that home run on the curveball, he hasn't thrown it again. Sometimes after you've been burned like that, they kind of forget that pitch for a while.
1-2. Fastball bounced to the second baseman Flannery. And 1 away. Incidentally, that was the 12th home run off a left-hand pitcher by Strawberry.
Nishan, National League scoreboard, 3-0 the Dodgers over the Phillies. That's top of the 4th. The Expos over the Giants 2-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. No score top of the 2nd. The Astros in Chicago. 3-0 Cards over the Reds in Cincinnati. That's just going into the bottom of the 1st. And at the top of the 2nd is no score. The Pirates in Atlanta.
And right here, the Mets are leading by a score of 2-1, and Howard Johnson the batter. That's 2 runs on 3 hits. The Padres 1 run on 3. And that pitch a ball for ball 1. Home run leaders: Dawson 41, Eric Davis 34, Murphy 34, Clark 33, Johnson and Strawberry tied at 31. And the high curveball hit down to third base. Randy Reddy with a bad throw to first, but the tag is made by Martinez as he comes off the bag. So Johnson is out.
Clark, Murphy, and Davis in that group have really kind of been sitting kind of still. Everybody from the rear has certainly come up, Strawberry and Howard Johnson. And even though he had a slow point himself, Dawson has gotten hot again and really taken a kind of a commanding lead in his home run championship in 1987.
Dawson is awesome. Barry Lyons the batter. Barry flied out to right his first time up. And that's ball 1. Lyons in his last 24 games hitting .284. He has yet to have a hit against the Padres. He's 0 for 8. And the forkball, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. The Dodgers come into Shea for a 3-game series Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. And Rick Aguilera will pitch tomorrow night, back up from the minor leagues and apparently over his arm problems. Fastball for ball 3, 3-0.
In his last outing in Tidewater, for the Tidewater Ties, he went 7 innings, only gave up a couple of hits, gave up no runs, said he felt no pain whatsoever.
And ball 4, so Lyons walks. First walk given up by Nolte. It puts a runner at first base with 2 men out. That's leading 2-1 and brings up Rafael Santana. Santana grounded out his first time up.
Sean Halegas, who is 2-0 since coming up with the Dodgers, will face Rick Aguilera on Monday night. It'll be Freddie Valenzuela and Bob Welch. Strike called. David Cohn will face Valenzuela. Ron Darling will face Welch on Wednesday.
And a big swing by Santana, strike 2.
That's a good pitch, isn't it, Ralph?
Yeah, he really does have good motion with that.
He's got good body and arm movement. He throws the ball hard enough, has a good curveball that comes in on the right-hander. That Farker goes away from him.
There it is, going away again.
He's going to fall in love with that because I think, as I said before, when you're a hitter and you're paying attention, he gave up that home run to Strawberry. They haven't thrown a curveball since. The next batter is coming up. You got a young battery going. Some of those things mean something when you approach the plate.
Put them in the computer. There's a curveball there, and it's 2-2. Got a good curve. They were talking about his curveball, and the best way to describe a good curveball, they usually say a Sandy Koufax curve.
Well, I can guarantee he doesn't have a Sandy Koufax curve. The only thing he does is he throws it from the left side, and it does break. But it is definitely not a Sandy Koufax curve, Ralph.
It's a Sandy curve. This fly ball to right, Tony Gwynn moving over near the foul line. And that ends the inning, but a run on the home run by Darryl Strawberry.
That's Deacon Jones, the hitting instructor.
Batted .400 in the minor leagues one year.
Deacon Jones?
Yeah.
Fine man.
He is an outstanding person. I had him at San Diego when I ran the ball club there. Super guy. And it's Marvell Wynn, former Met, to lead it off here in the top of the fifth. The Mets leading 2-1. Dwight Gooden has given up 1 run on 3 hits. And the 1 run coming when Darryl Strawberry and Mookie Wilson almost ran together in the outfield, allowing the ball to drop for a triple. And a bad hop single scored Randy Reddy, who had hit the triple from third base. Wynn flying out to left field his first time up, and he tommyhawks that ball to deep center. Mookie almost fell down and now makes the play.
There are undulations out in center field. Mookie Wilson hits something right there, stumbles. It's a miracle he kept his feet. His spike definitely caught at something. It is probably one of those undulations. The ground is not real flat out there. You have a drain in the back to try to clear the water from this field that really does hold water.
And again, it's Templeton, and he singles to center field, his second hit of the ball game. First time he singled off a fastball, and this time he singles off the curve.
Nissan American League scoreboard 6-4. The Red Sox over the Twins. That's bottom of the fifth. In the top of the fourth, the Tigers are over the Indians right now, 4-1. No score. The Royals against the Brewers. That's just getting underway. Everything else is later. The Yankees in Oakland, the Blue Jays in Anaheim, the Orioles in Seattle, and the White Sox down in Texas. Down in Texas.
So a runner at first. The Mets leading the ball game by a score of 2-1, and Tim Flannery, the batter. Tim was struck out his first time up. 1 of 2 for Gooden here today. And the fastball for ball 1. Flannery 3 for 19 against Gooden in his major league career. First base, dug out of the dirt by Keith Hernandez.
There are tendencies in baseball. Templeton himself, who you're looking at right there, was 3 for 19 off Gooden in his career prior to this game. He's 2 for 2 today. That's what makes baseball the great game it is. There is no telling what's going to happen.
Things seek their level. 1-0 pitch is fouled off. So it's 1-1.
The only time you don't want to believe that things seek their own level is when you're off to a marvelous start the first 2 months of the season and you don't want to come down. You kind of have an idea you're not going to be able to keep that 380 going or whatever it is.
Some players have the philosophy that if they only have so many hits, in other words, they might get 180 hits in a year. They don't want to waste them in spring training. They don't want to get any base hits in spring training.
I had a philosophy about spring training. We'll get to it after this pitch. Here we go. I tried to get myself in a situation where I didn't hit the pitch off the pitcher that I wanted to get during the season. I would take a couple of fastballs. I would get the 2 strikes and try to battle. I would try to look for the breaking ball and try to do things that I didn't want that pitcher to remember me hurting him on the fastball in spring training. Dwight Gooden keeping Templeton very close at first base. Larry Boa has had the Padres running almost at will. Did you have a theory in spring training, Ralph?
I always try to work on something that I wanted to learn about, and I'd stay with it. I didn't care at all about base hits. Of course, that's after I made the team.
Naturally, naturally.
One year, for example, I went to a 42-ounce bat and used it all spring because I wanted to see what a heavier bat would do for me, and I liked it and stayed with it. 1 ball, 1 strike. The runner goes, a swing and a miss. Another bad throw by Lyons is backed up by Tuefel, and they save an error as Templeton picks up a stolen base, the second for the Padres in this game.
It's a good jump, does not pick up the catcher. He's going all the way. It's a short hopper, gets through, and Tim Tuefel, a lot of credit to Tim Tuefel. What a backup. Ball straight through, he's right there. Good infield play.
So Templeton's second stolen base. He now has 9 out of 12. And the count 1-2 on Flannery. Good curveball blocked by Lyons. Good job there. 2-2. Mets leading 2-1 on back-to-back home runs by, not really back-to-back, on home runs by Strawberry and Johnson. The 7th time that they have homered in the same game.
Again, the Met outfield playing extremely deep on Flannery with 2 strikes, even in left field and center field. Dwight Gooden's the pitcher. Just don't understand it. You don't give yourself any opportunity whatsoever to throw that runner out unless it's a bullet right at you, and then you really have to make an outstanding throw anyway.
And it's punched out towards Santana. Great stop by Santana. The throw to first base is not in time, but Santana taking a base hit away that would have moved the runner up.
Flannery gets out of there in a hurry. Santana just webs it, just holds it. What a play. Tries to get him at first. Flannery, the tie goes to the runner. That was pretty close. I think Flannery is safe here. Santana does save a run in that situation. Templeton cannot be thrown out at third base. I don't think he made a real good base running play, because if he's really alert, you set the ball that if it's to your left as you're standing there facing home plate, you take off at third base. There's no way Santana's going to be able to catch that ball and throw him at third, so I don't think Templeton had a good base running decision there.
Now in the bunting situation, the ball is bunted out in front of home plate. Good bunt. And Nolte sacrifices, and the runners move up. Templeton to third base. Flannery down to second. You know, that swing by Flannery really demonstrated what you were saying about the outfield playing so deep. He just slapped at that ball. That's all he was trying to do.
He wanted to make some contact and get the ball in play. Here you see the very good bunt by Nolte. Good throw. There's certain situations where you just have to take advantage of moving in the outfield. That was one of them. 2 strikes on Flannery. He wants to make some contact. He's not a home run hitter. He's not going to produce the long ball with any regularity. You have to put yourself in the outfield in a situation not only to take away a cheap base hit, but to put yourself where you can, if he does hit a line drive out there, not let that guy from second base just score anyway.
And now the batter is Stan Jefferson, and the fastball is just outside for a ball. Jefferson has grounded out and flied out. Batting .262 for the year with 6 home runs, 20 runs batted in.
Gooden does have an open base here.
And a right-hand batter coming up next. And the fastball for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Keith Hernandez waving Strawberry in.
Trying to get the outfield to move.
Almost a sellout here today on a beautiful summer day with no humidity. 2 balls, no strikes. The fastball fouled back.
This is the second day in August that has been like this. Earlier this month on I believe a Wednesday afternoon game. Mets got a day like this. When you're in the dog days of August and you get a day like this, and it's a day game, you have really found a bonus.
Beautiful scene right there. Scene from our cameras there at Shea Stadium. 2-1.
Bill Webb definitely got a bridge in that scene.
Good curveball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Gooden snapped that one off. There is a Sandy Koufax.
This is an A-game curveball. It's turned as it goes by. That is the Lord Charles.
Two to Stan Jefferson. Fastball chopped out, and it should be a base hit. It will be. 1 run scores. Now a play at the plate. Lyons has it in time, and Flannery is out. But the Padres get a run on the base hit by Jefferson, and they tie it up at 2. 1 run on 3 hits, and 1 man left on base. The score turn, and it's Dwight Gooden to lead it off. 2-2 ball game. And Gooden batting for the second time. Flat out to right field his first time up on his first pitch. Eric Nolte on the mound for the Padres. His first appearance ever against the Mets.
I'll tell you, Ralph, that slide into home plate, Flannery feels that right now. He was just moving his back, moving his legs, feeling back there. He shook himself up.
And there's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Bud Lyons is a big man. There you see Flannery. A strike call, 3-1.
There's a lot of ways to think here, but Dwight Gooden would be taking for me.
I agree with you. Gooden, even though he has 10 hits. Batting .238 for the year, and he takes, and it is a strike call, so it goes to 3-2. The philosophy there is you're going to get the same pitch, 3-2, as you're going to get 3-1. Give the pitcher a chance to walk you. Drive to right field, coming over is Gwynn, and did he catch it? No, he didn't. Gooden's on his way to second, changes his mind. They throw behind him, and Martinez throws it away into center field, and Gooden goes in safely. Now the ball gets away from Gwynn. The throw to third base cut off, and Gooden ends up at third. Larry Boa can't believe what he sees as the Padres, who have played outstanding ball for 2 games against the Mets, now revert back.
I don't know how they're going to call this play. Gooden was going to second base. He stopped, started coming back to first. Tony Gwynn threw the ball to first. Gooden realized he had no chance. Gwynn picks it up. Sees Gooden, goes to first. He knows he's going to be out, so he goes to second. He gets a little bit of a break. I think he would have been safe anyway, but the ball hit him on the throw. Gets by, and he goes to third base.
Well, it is a base hit. That we know for sure. There was an error charge, and it should go against Martinez, the first baseman, not for allowing Gooden to go to second. It looked like he got there, but for going to third.
Almost a really super play by Tony Gwynn. Good throw. It would have been a really close play. I think Dwight Gooden would have been safe even with a good throw from Martinez. Obviously, the bad throw allows him to go to third base, and there's an error on that.
Could be an error charge to Wynn, the left fielder, for not picking the ball up in time, and we'll try and check on that.
I think they've given 2 errors on this play, Ralph.
Are they?
I think they're going to have to give an error on Gwynn for throwing behind the runner advancing. Maybe not. Maybe they're saying that Martinez is getting 2 errors, but they do have 2 errors up on the scoreboard. We'll try to find out what they're calling it.
And the first pitch to Mookie Wilson. Strike call by home plate umpire Eric Gregg. Mookie in this game is 0 for 2, has grounded out and flied out.
The infield playing deep at short and second. Halfway at third and first.
And this ball chopped out to third. Gooden's coming home, and the third baseman Reddy does not pay any attention to Gooden. He might have had a play on him, and he does pick up the out at first. So Mookie Wilson gets a run batted in. The Mets take the lead 3-2.
A lot of pitchers don't work on their base running. Dwight Gooden getting a good jump here. The reason why Reddy went to first and not to home. It was a real high hop. A lot of times in spring training, you see different plays being worked on all the time. Pitchers don't get involved. A pitcher getting involved there got himself a run, and that's the go-ahead run in a tight ball game.
So they pick up the out at first base as you look at the replay, and Tim Tuefel bats. Home runs, 42 RBIs, has doubled in 2 appearances. And the fastball way high, 2 balls, full shuffle. And another ball. Big swing and a foul tip. It's 3-2 the count. And it's hit in the air to center field. Stan Jefferson, the center fielder, puts it away. Almost gets hit again, and that pitch a fastball.
Hernandez going back to that on-deck circle to get a little pine tar. That fastball, a lot of dust flew right there off the mound, too. A big gust of wind.
Looked like he might have caught a spike.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't know whether he caught a spike, but Keith Hernandez's spikes are not going to be dug into that turf too hard right now.
Now, that was really a tough pitch to get out of the way.
He was not throwing at Keith Hernandez. He was just trying to throw a good, hard fastball in. We've had an unusual ruling, probably very correct, though, on that play.
This ball drilled to right center field. It'll be extra bases. One hop against the fence at the 396 mark, and Keith Hernandez with a double, and he has extended his hitting streak to 13 consecutive games.
That's just superb hitting on the part of Keith Hernandez after being knocked down. Nolte comes back with a fastball, drills it in the gap, off the wall for a double. Give you a ruling on that play. An error was charged to the right fielder for throwing behind the runner and allowing the runner to go to second. Camilo Martinez throwing the ball to second base. Even though it went by, Gooden had stopped. As the left fielder, Marvell Wynn, went to get the ball, he let it go through him, and that's why Gooden went on to third. So as you see a ball to Darryl Strawberry, it's an E9, E7, 2 errors. That's your 2 errors.
2 errors by 2 different outfielders on the same play. That's very unusual. Pitch to Strawberry, hit high in the air to right field. Tony Gwynn has plenty of time for this one. And he makes the catch, and that ends the inning. But the Mets get 1 run.
At the plate, and Steve Zabriskie in for the play-by-play.
Thank you, Russ. I'm also ready. Randy Reddy trying to bunt for a base hit, fouls it off. 4 strike 1. Reddy with a triple and a run scored and 2 trips to the plate. This is at the end of the previous half inning. Nolte going into the dugout.
Little kick at the wood on the ground.
Galen Cisco, the pitching coach, talking to him. Gooden with a breaking ball that Reddy lifts into center field. Mookie Wilson fighting the sun, makes the catch, 1 away. 0 for 2. High and away. Ball 1. Paul Molitor has flied out in his first at bat.
That bum.
Going for 38 today. A fastball fouled back, 1-1. Tony flied deep to left center and struck out. And his last at bat, when Gooden struck him out with a breaking ball, it was one of those classic mano-a-mano confrontations.
That was really a great one.
When fouling off pitches, and Gooden finally getting him with a curveball. Down low, 2-1.
That was kind of the situation. If Dwight Gooden threw a strike anywhere, I think Tony Gwynn could have handled the strike. He threw a curveball that broke out of the strike zone, and Tony Gwynn could not handle that pitch.
Handles the fastball and hits it up the middle. Tuefel knocks it down, but can't throw him out. Tim Tuefel having a great day. But Tony Gwynn runs very well, and running from the left side, of course, beat it out.
Great day is correct. Standing back up. Good play on a high chopper where he threw the guy out at the plate. Flannery, and here he almost gets Gwynn. Almost. Too much speed.
For Tony, his 170th base hit of the season. That leads the National League. And here is Carmelo Martinez, who drove in a run with a base hit in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2, and coming into today, a career batting average of .308 against Dwight Gooden. Down low, ball 0-1. Martinez playing first base because John Kruk injured his back last night swinging, and the Padres described it thusly. There's John on the bench. If it were the 7th game of the World Series, he would be in there. But they have an off day tomorrow as they travel home tonight after the game to San Diego, and they wanted to give him 2 days off. A good stop by Lyons of a ball in the dirt. 2-0 to Martinez.
And beyond a doubt, a wise decision by Larry Bohr and his staff. I'm sure that was made strictly by Larry Bohr. Kruk having just a super season.
He was having a super game too.
Yes, he was.
He actually hurt his back on a swing where he did not make contact, or he fouled the ball off, and then he got a base hit on the next pitch.
He moved into 2nd place in the batting average race. Also moved into 4th place in the on-base percentage with 431. His average was 339 after the game. As you see Gooden working again to try to keep one of the Padre runners close to first base.
One out. Tony Gwynn at first. Gwynn with 43 stolen bases, and he's chased back again. Tony 4th in the National League. Vince Coleman, of course, the leader with 81.
Start looking at those leaderboards in different categories, and Tony Gwynn's name is everywhere other than home runs and RBIs.
It's another throw. Gwynn, in fact, is in the top 4 in 7 different offensive categories in the National League.
The one thing that I really have a tremendous amount of respect for Gwynn on is Hernandez is going, and I think he popped a string on his glove. He's going to have to change gloves right now. Being a great hitter nowadays, sometimes young players, and he's only in about his 5th or 6th year now, I guess, they kind of rest on their laurels because they're going to be such fine offensive players. It's not going to really make a lot of difference if they really work hard on their defense. But Tony Gwynn has really done that. He got his first Golden Glove last year, one of the most earned awards I've seen a young player get. I mean, I wish I could find enough superlatives to lay down about him because he's just one of the finest players in baseball.
Without a doubt. And you're right, Russ, both offensively and defensively. He has become, if not the best, certainly one of the best defensive right fielders in the game.
He's learned how to run the bases. He's learned how to get a better lead and a better jump, as evidenced by the 40+ stolen bases he has this year. He's just worked to be the best player he can be in every category of the game, and I think that's one of the goals every player should have. But you don't see that often.
Hernandez with new leather. And a 2-ball, no-strike count to Carmelo Martinez with Gwynn at first and 1 out. We're in the top of the 6th inning with the Mets leading 3-2.
Dwight Gooden still working on him, trying not to let him get that big jump. 2 balls, no strikes. You see in Cincinnati, top of the 3rd, Cardinals are ahead 4-0 now. Great come from behind win for the Cardinals last night. Down 7-1, they come back and beat the Cincinnati Redlegs.
Won that game 9-7, and that moved the Mets back into 3rd place. 4.5 out. Behind Montreal in 2nd now. 3 balls, no strikes to Martinez. Ball 4. So Gwynn did not have to steal second as he's pushed over there by the walk to Martinez.
That particular at bat, a lot of times they talk about a pitcher losing the focus of where he is, supposed to be pitching. Dwight Gooden very concerned about Gwynn at first. Walked the batter on 4 pitches. Maybe he had too much focus on first base. Lost his concentration to the plate.
So a mini conference at the mound with Santana and Hernandez there with Gooden. Runners at first and second, 1 away, and the batter Benito Santiago, who is 0 for 2. He has hit a soft line drive to short and grounded into a double play.
Santiago has moved the ball very well through the middle and toward right field, especially during this period that he's been swinging the bat so well.
Takes a good curveball for strike 1. that period of time, the last 22 games in which Santiago has hit .361. He is probably right now the front runner as Randy Myers warms up for the Mets. Santiago probably the front runner for the Rookie of the Year award in the National League. Foul back and a good fastball on the count 0-2.
Catching his 29th straight game. Discussion with Vern Horscheit before the game. I really feel that some of the young guys need to get a rest more than a guy. I'm not talking about an older veteran. I'm just talking about a guy who's been around like a Tony Gwynn. I think you learn how to handle the trips and the life and everything else better as you play a little bit. A young guy just coming into the league, I think, has more trouble handling playing every day without getting a rest. And I think it's more mental and physical. But I do think that a young guy needs to get a rest himself in that first year or two that he's playing.
I agree. The runners are going, and the pitch is hit off the hands. Tuefel up with the ball, holds Gwynn, who had rounded third, throws out Santiago for the second out. And so runners now at second and third with 2 out.
If Tony Gwynn comes around third base that time, all the way, I think he scores. This ball is inside. Santiago trying to get out of the way almost. He's got no chance at first base. Gwynn coming around third. He holds up here. Had an idea. If he'd have come all the way around third base as softly as that ball was hit to second base, I don't know if Tuefel could have really picked him up and thrown to the plate, because he had to kind of get the ball, throw to first base to get the runner going down to first. He did take a little peek. He's looking at him, so he would have had a chance. Would have been a close play at the plate, though, because that ball took a long time to get him or get to him at second base.
Well, the thing Tuefel did too that helped was that he did hold Gwynn. Gwynn looked to see if Tuefel was looking at him, and Tuefel was, so he did stop. Well, a conference with Davy Johnson on the mound to determine whether or not they want to walk Marvell Wynn and pitch to Templeton, who is 2 for 2, or whether Gooden wants to pitch to Marvell Wynn, who is 0 for 2, has flied out twice, deep to left and deep to center.
Marvell Wynn is 0 for 17 lifetime against Dwight Gooden. That's why he's pitching to him right here.
Breaking ball for ball 1. And they're graphically displayed as your very point.
Such a beautiful day. The planes are landing. They're not taking off over the stadium. It's a great day to be out at Shea.
Even the wind is cooperating by coming out of the proper direction to keep the airliners away. Breaking ball, grounded weakly. Gooden right there. And Marvell's going to go back to the batter's box, so Gooden flips to Hernandez for the final out of the inning. A hit and a walk and 2 left here in the 6th inning. Dwight Gooden and the New York Mets hold on to their 1-run lead. And in the middle of the 6th, 3-2 New York. We're back after this for Budweiser.
7 home runs. I thought it was the greatest ballpark I ever played in.
McReynolds with a ground ball to short. Templeton up with it. Fires high. Templeton taking a little too much time. Looked at the baseball and then threw it into the stands. And McReynolds will go to second on the error. Off the end of the bat and right back to the pitcher, who holds McReynolds and throws Johnson out. 1 away. Lions struck out, and the second any base but home, and bring up Dwight Gooden. Gooden grounds it to short. Templeton over, goes to second for the force, and the inning is over. Ball 1 to Templeton. Templeton's 2 for 2. He singled to left, stole a base in the 3rd, singled to center, stole a base, and scored in the 5th. Ball 2. There's strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike.
San Diego coming into this game is only 3 games behind both Atlanta and Los Angeles in the loss column to get into 4th place in the National League West.
Foul off.
You can bet after the start that they had, you see Molitor, that bum flied out again. 2 outs in a game. Anyway, no. Paul Molitor just having a marvelous 2.5 months here. Padres coming on strong.
Ball 3, 3-1 to Templeton. The Padres have an opportunity with Los Angeles and Atlanta tied for 5th, actually tied for 4th, 9.5 out. A deep fly ball into left center field. Wilson fighting the sun, almost lost it. Mookie Wilson has always had a tremendous problem seeing the ball in bright sunlight and in daylight games. And this is just very indicative of that fact.
He struggled, like you said. He checked the wall, which is what he's supposed to do, and he blocked the sun. See him check the wall, see where it is. He's blocking the sun, but he loses it a little. Ball drifted in that wind. Seems like the ball has carried well to left field. If you hit anywhere from center field on over to left field, the ball has been carrying a little bit. That ball carried away from Mookie Wilson.
Tim Flannery 1 for 2, had an infield base hit and struck out. And he takes inside ball 1. You pointed it out before, Rusty, that you just cannot go by the flags here at Shea Stadium. Shane Mack on deck to pinch hit for Eric Nolte. The wind really swirls in this ballpark. Breaking ball in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes.
Mid outfield playing Flannery as if Babe Ruth has made a comeback. I just can't believe we're watching this right now.
Well, you see McReynolds in left field. Now, Flannery does not have a lot of power the other way, and McReynolds too deep, but even in right field, Strawberry's 20 feet from the warning track. 3-0. Of course, Gooden's pitching to him like he's Babe Ruth, too. 3-1.
Flannery trying to work his way on right here. We'll see if he's swinging.
He's taking a high fastball for ball 4.
Going to look at the Nissan National League scoreboard. Dodgers are over the Phillies 4-0 now. That's top of the 7th. Bottom of the 6th, Expos over the Giants 2-1. Bottom of the 4th, the Astros have scored. It's 1-0 over the Cubs. Top of the 4th inning, the Cardinals 4. The Reds have finally scored a run. The Pirates and the Braves. The Braves are ahead 2-1 in the top of the 5th inning.
Batting for pitcher Eric Nolte, number 24, Luis Salazar.
So Luis Salazar will now be the pinch hitter instead of Shane Mack, who was out on deck.
Larry Boa pulling a little trick maneuver.
Salazar hitting 276 as Davey Johnson comes out to the mound to make the pitching change once Salazar is announced. So Dwight will leave the game here in the 7th inning, going 6 1/3. He leaves with a 3-2 lead. Third base. Flannery was playing second. He will probably have Randy Reddy move from third to second. Salazar squares to bunt but takes the ball. Or was it a strike? I didn't see an indication from Eric Gregg, but the scoreboard says strike 1.
Do you trust that scoreboard?
Never. Never, never, never.
Roger McDowell, even though Roger's been scored on 6 of the last times he's been out, he has a 3-2 record with 6 saves during that period.
You see strike 1 on the scoreboard, so your guess is as good as mine. McDowell chasing Mack back again. Salazar hitting 276, 3 homers, 13 RBIs. He is 3 for 14 as a pinch hitter. Mack running on the play, and the ball grounded weakly to second. Salazar out at first, but the Padres stay out of the double play that would end the inning by putting Mack in motion. 2 out.
Salazar on that play. Saw the runner going, almost forces this ball to the second baseman. See how he goes the other way? The Mets tricked him. They did not have Tuefel covering. Shortstop was covering on that play. Salazar trying to force the ball to where he thought was going to be the opening in the infield, and he was wrong. Tying run is at second base, though.
2 outs for Stan Jefferson, who's 1 for 3. He had an infield base hit that drove in a run in the 5th inning. Foul back, strike 1. An RBI for Stanley, his 21st of the year. He has 6 homers, and against the New York Mets, he has hit .360 this season.
If it hadn't been for a fine play by Tim Tuefel, he could have had 2 RBIs on an infield single. Don't see that very often. A few strange things happening out here at Shea today.
It's a day game. Day games are strange to begin with.
That's for you, sir. You're the one that don't like those day games. I love those day games.
I'm not the only one that doesn't like them. We're split up here.
Have you got a list?
Yeah, you and Ralph like them, and Timmy and I hate them.
Get your sleep. You won't have to worry about it.
It's deadlock. It's deadlock. Family day in the bullpen with the Goose. Another nubber down the first baseline, but it's foul. Sandy Alomar, who could always make the play, makes another one.
Harry Gregg gave Roger McDowell a bad toss. Got a bad op, almost took it in the lips.
Two strikes the count to Stan Jefferson. McDowell in relief. Dwight Gooden, who went 6 in the 3rd, and is responsible for the pinch runner, Shane Mack, at 2nd. Punch to short. Nice hop for Santana. He'll have to hurry. Got him at first base. Stanley Jefferson flying down the line and just nipped. Randy Reddy moves from 3rd to 2nd. Salazar stays in the game and plays 3rd, and Keith Comstock is the new pitcher with a record of 2-0 and a 3.04 ERA. He's picked up 1 save. This is his 34th appearance. Mookie Wilson leads it off and takes low and inside, ball 1. Mookie 0 for 3, but he did pick up an RBI, his 29th of the year, when he grounded out in the 5th inning. Fly ball to short center field. Totally lost by Stan Jefferson. And Mookie Wilson, who should be on 2nd base, is only on 1st. Jefferson, I don't think, ever put the glasses down. And he didn't pick up the ball at all.
He's coming in. He looks up. The glasses are they are down. He just could not find that ball. He made a movement to his cap. No, he didn't pull him down there unless he had him down earlier. Stanley Jefferson, we've been talking all day about the sun. Mookie Wilson struggling on a couple of balls.
Mookie gets a base hit, which he should not have gotten, and he should be at 2nd base on a ball with that much hang time and his speed.
Especially with the trouble the outfielders have been having, including Mookie, and seeing the ball today.
Mookie chased back. Wilson with 16 stolen bases on the year. He's only been caught twice.
That is not top speed right there for Mookie Wilson.
Comstock just holding the ball, so Mookie moving back toward 1st. Tuefel is 1 for 3 with a double.
Mookie Wilson, one of the people that hustles the most, not only for the Mets but in the league. The one time you don't really go full out, you wind up getting burned. That's why you go hard every time. Because the 1 or 2 times in a year you don't, something like that will happen.
One ball to count to Tuefel, who studies 3rd base coach Sam Perlazzo.
Good count to be moving.
Mookie not running, and it's ball 2 down low.
He gave him a little bluff off first base that time.
Mets leading 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. And yes, it's cardboard carton day here at Shea. All fans received a cardboard carton when they went to the concession stand today.
It was only if you could prove you didn't have all your cards in your deck. They should have a lot more of them here. They should have a couple here up here in the booth.
Now, ordinarily, people would wear those to keep the sun off their head, right? I think those guys are sitting in the shade. Ball 3 down low. Larry Boa can't even watch.
He's looking at the old scorecard, trying to make a decision on what he's going to do.
Snap throw to first, but Mookie back on the fastball for strike 1. 3-1 to Tim Tuefel.
Being such an emotional person, Larry Boa, he's really had to work hard on not showing that emotion on the bench. That's why he's found a few positions that he can sit in where even though he has got butterflies all in his stomach, he doesn't try to show it. That's why he's sitting in that slot, calmly looking down at his scorecard.
It's all a matter of self-containment with Boa.
That's why
he has to work hard at it.
That's why so many managers in baseball, they have all those stomach ailments. I mean, not all those stomach remedies.
Because they have stomach ailments.
That's it.
Mookie running on the pitch. Strike 2 called, and Wilson in there safely at second. Santiago never got up. He threw that ball without getting up.
There's sometimes where that's a necessity. I think he's gotten into a bad habit there. I don't think that was necessary there. I think he would have definitely been better off had he come out and made a regular throw like you're supposed to. Sometimes you get to where you start showing that arm off too much, you get into a bad habit. I think he should have come out and made a regular throw on that ball.
Mookie Wilson with the stolen bases at second, with nobody out and a 3-2 count now to Tim Tuefel. Comstock stepping off and wants to talk now. You see this so often. As soon as a runner gets to second, when a new pitcher comes in, there's uncertainty between the pitcher and the catcher as to the sequence of signs.
Well, especially with a guy like Comstock, who has not had a chance to pitch a great deal to Santiago. They want to make sure it's better to do that than not do it and have the signs messed up.
Catcher is more in favor of the conference than the pitcher. He doesn't want to get crossed up. Ball 4 in the dirt. So a bloop base hit, lost in the sun, and a walk. And the Mets have runners at first and second with nobody out for Keith Hernandez.
Take a look at the Nissan American League scoreboard. Top of the 9th, the Red Sox over the Twins. The slumping Twins, 6-4. Top of the 8th, 4-2. Tigers over the Indians. 4-0. Royals over the Brewers. That's bottom of the 4th. Everything else later. The Yankees in Oakland. The Blue Jays in Anaheim. The Orioles in Seattle. And the White Sox in Texas. That's all tonight.
Beautiful Irving, Texas.
No, that's a little bit further now. It's in Arlington, Texas.
Oh, Arlington, that's right.
Arlington. Irving is where the Dallas Cowboys play.
Well, they're smack up against each other.
Agreed. And smack up against both of them myself.
A ball to Keith Hernandez, who is 1 for 2. And Hernandez in 87, a little below his RBI pace. He could still have as many as he had last year if he closes strongly.
Certainly has enough time to get hot, drive in a lot of runs.
Ball 2.
One of the interesting questions that'll come up for Davy Johnson. Tim Tuefel has been playing so well. Wally Backman has always been platooning with Tuefel. In fact, last year a lot of times people felt Wally Backman should be playing every day. Now the question is whether Davy Johnson is going to go with using Tim Tuefel, who has just been extremely hot on a regular basis. We will see.
And has played much better defensively as well. Keith Hernandez now with a 13-game hitting streak with his double to right center in the 5th inning. Ball 3 bounces away, but not far enough for the runners to advance as it kicked off of the chest protector of Santiago and stayed near the plate.
Larry Boa. Tell you what, he's going to have some gray hairs messed in there real quick, boy.
He's fighting it, isn't he?
You know it. He's sitting there going, and I brought this guy in.
Mark Davis has joined Greg Booker now in the San Diego bullpen. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. Sisco, the pitching coach, bouncing out of the dugout immediately. And we will tell you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Mets and WWOR-TV. It is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets and WWOR-TV is prohibited.
So I was getting ready to say, Steve, Mark Davis, who has thrown a lot lately, especially last night's game, not really available for anything but real short duty. Comstock, the other left-hander in the bullpen, they want him to face Strawberry. He has not hardly come close to the last two batters, so Larry Boa staying with the young Comstock just because of the lefty-lefty confrontation here.
And if I were Darryl, I would be looking right now, as Darryl asked for time, I would be looking right now for him to try to get ahead in the count with a fastball and be ready to leave your feet.
Well, you shouldn't be. You want to hit it. You don't want to leave your feet. You want to hit it. And you and Darryl and I would have all been messed up because he just threw him a curveball for ball one.
But properly, Strawberry took it. Strawberry has already homered, his 31st of the year. Ball two, way outside. Comstock has not even been close on many of his pitches.
Larry Boa is trying to build character along with winning ball games, and sometimes that does not work out good in the long run.
Check swing foul. Boy, that's tough on a 2-0 count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mookie Wilson is at third base, Tim Tuefel at second, and Keith Hernandez at first, and there is nobody out.
And the base runners have to play a little conservative here. They got to make sure they don't get caught in a line drive.
Fastball missed, and the count now 2-2.
With one out, you're a little more aggressive on the bases. With nobody out, you do not want to get caught. If Darryl Strawberry hits a line drive, you can't be caught in a double play.
Darryl hits it high and deep to center field. Jefferson going back. He has room. He makes the catch near the fence. Mookie Wilson tags at third. He will score. And Tim Tuefel, unable to advance because he was playing halfway, has to go back to second base. But it's an RBI on the deep sacrifice fly for Strawberry. Darryl's second of the game and 76th of the year, and that's going to be all for Keith Comstock.
Now drives this ball. There you see Stan Jefferson.
Grounded out and reached on an error on shortstop Gary Templeton. Ball one, low and away. You're watching Mets Baseball 87 on WWOR-TV, Secaucus, New Jersey. On the corner, 1-1. The third San Diego pitcher. Grounded foul at home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kevin McReynolds. But it's going to be foul out of play behind home plate, and the count remains 1-2. McReynolds with his mom and dad looking on, in town from Arkansas, would like to give them a big treat. Two and two.
Boa talking about trying to teach his pitchers to pitch inside. They have certainly done that in this series. I don't know whether he's doodling or thinking.
Well, it doesn't look like the Times crossword puzzle. Fouled off the hands into the San Diego dugout. Not too far from Boa.
Harry Dunlap next to Larry Boa there. See Sandy Alomar, first base coach.
A little gift for the fans above the dugout. 2-2 to McReynolds. And he punches it to right field. Gwynn coming on, makes the catch, throws to second, but not in time to double up Tuefel, 2 away. Good play by Tony Gwynn on the sinking liner for the second out of the inning.
Third baseman, Howard.
Good hitting on the part of Kevin McReynolds. Gwynn comes in. We've talked about what a fine defensive player he is. It's the reason why he catches this ball. He gets a good jump on it. Tuefel making a correct decision to get back to second base.
And he got a little help from the third base coach, Sam Perlazzo. Said, whoa. So runners still at first and second now with 2 out for Howard Johnson, who has homered and grounded out twice, 1 for 3. Ball 1. Hojo hit his home run right-handed in the second inning off starter Eric Nolte. A chance to hit one from each side of the plate.
Doesn't happen too often in baseball.
Ball 2.
He certainly has the right count for it right now. 2 men on, 2 outs, 2-0. A lot of 2s. Certainly taking a tremendous amount of time. Howard Johnson, a little antsy, steps out.
You see it a lot when pitchers have runners on base. The ordinarily slow workers become almost statues out there. Ball 3. Now, will they turn Hojo loose with a 3-0 count?
I think Davy Johnson will. I think he should be swinging.
I agree with 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-run lead.
And I agree with Booker pitching tough to Johnson right now with Lyons up next.
Ball 4 in the dirt, bounces away. It's of little consequence, though, as long as Santiago can get it before Tuefel can round third, as the runners would have advanced anyway on the walk to Howard Johnson. So 3 walks in the inning, as well as 1 base hit. Only 1 run to score.
The last time that Barry Lyons hit with the bases loaded, he hit a massive home run. You get a look at Larry Boa. Just a little quick yelling, screaming, getting a little vent. If we had $1 for every time Larry Boa got aggravated during the course of a baseball game over the last 20 years, we'd have a lot of dollars.
Certainly would. Well, Barry Lyons faced this same situation against the San Francisco Giants with the bases loaded. He had not had a hit against San Francisco this year, and he hit a grand slam home run. He has not had a hit against San Diego this year, and he takes inside ball 1. Barry is 0 for 9 against San Diego pitching, and in 15 at-bats against the Giants, his only hit has been the grand slam this past week. Ball 2.
We talked about the walk-to-strikeout ratio for Booker. It has not been good. Almost 2 walks to every strikeout.
Well, you were talking earlier about him being sent back and forth between Las Vegas and San Diego, and that's probably the #1 reason. Lyons gets jammed and loops it foul out of play for strike 1. 2-1. Bottom of the 7th, Mets leading 4-2 with the bases loaded and 2 out.
The shadows are creeping toward home plate. They're not affecting anybody yet. They will toward the end of the next inning.
Inside. 3-1.
Barry Lyons should be thinking, I want to pitch in my zone where I want to hit it. If he doesn't get it, make him throw 3 and 2. He's in the driver's seat. Paul Molitor singled his 3rd at bat.
That ball hit him. Ball 4 was so far inside it hit Barry Lyons. A run scores to make it 5-2 New York. The run is charged to keep Comstock.
Barry Lyons does get an RBI the tough way.
Right on the hip, little hip pointer. So an RBI for Lyons, his 15th of the year. The bases are still loaded with 2 out for Rafael Santana, who was grounded out, flied out, and walked intentionally. Strike 1. One and 1.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Cardinals 9-1. Cardinals opening up a vast lead on the Redlegs.
In the dirt, it bounces away. Here comes Hernandez. He will score, and the other 2 runners move up as well. It is now 6-2 New York. And a wild pitch will be charged to Greg Booker, and Galen Cisco out again.
He's coming out to talk. Larry Boa does not want to come out and say what he has to say. Just a sinker, a hard sinker in the dirt. Hernandez scores easily. This has been a good road trip for the San Diego club.
Well, control problems are nothing new to Greg Booker. In his 2nd year of professional baseball at Reno, in the 162 innings, as you see the wild pitch again, and Hernandez scoring. In 162 innings at Reno in 1982, Booker walked 157 hitters.
That's a lot of people. I would think that the way Comstock and Booker have been pitching so far today, they hope there's no pit stop for gas in Las Vegas.
Grounded foul by Santana, and the count is 2-2. Man,
this is a cruel game, isn't it?
I'll tell you, this has been a horrendous pitching inning. First of all, Comstock walked 2. He's now been charged with 3 runs, as all 3 of the runners he put on have scored. Santana punches a base hit to right field. Johnson scores. Here comes Lyons. He will score. Mets leading 8-2, and 2 RBIs for Santana.
Santana just going with a fastball out over the plate. It's a little looper. It was surprising to see Quinn playing as deep as he was, as often as he does make adjustments to certain people out of hitting. Was playing Santana fairly deep. Would not have had much of a chance on a normal run-up with Barry Lyons at second base. Had he been playing a little shallow, might have had a chance to make a play at the plate. But a lot of credit to Rafael Santana for going the other way with that pitch.
Roger McDowell will be the 9th hitter to bat in the inning for New York. Here in the 7th with 2 out and Santana at first. The Mets have scored 5 times to take an 8-2 lead. McDowell grounds it foul outside of 3rd. Strike 1. Roger 3 for 11 on the season. Mark Davis. No, that's not Mark Davis. That's Storm Davis, the right-hander, acquired from Baltimore, throwing in the bullpen. Mark Davis was up earlier, but he's sitting down now. Grounded to 3rd, a high chop. Salazar throws.
He is 1 for 3 with a run scored in this ball game. Lined, there's Tuefel. Boy, Tuefel has really played a terrific ball game today.
The next batter, right fielder.
Tim's made some key plays as well as some good plays. And he's 1 for 3 with a double, a walk, and a run scored at the plate. And he's just been solid hitter all season long.
That's an interesting comment because most of his good plays have been key plays. The high chopper behind second base when he made the good throw to nail the runner at the plate when the game was tied in the 5th inning off Dwight Gooden. Tony Gwynn now the batter. Tony 1 for 3 on the afternoon, and it was an infield hit on a good play by Tim Tuefel. Sinker for a strike.
A lot of times a guy will make good plays in a game, but they aren't necessarily key plays.
True, true. 8-2 New York. Top of the 8th, the Cardinals winning their game. Tuefel again. Got him. 2 outs.
Well, this is a play that was not necessarily a key play either, but again, a good play as Tuefel backhands it behind the bag and throws out a good runner who's running from the left side in Tony Gwynn. Tufel's defense has just improved so much immeasurably this season, and I think, Tim, it has a lot to do with that second year in the league theory that we talk about mostly in conjunction with hitting. A guy is more comfortable.
Carmelo Martinez, and look at this pick. Oh my goodness. What a difficult play for Johnson. Watch it.
This ball short hops him right in front of him. He backhands it. And it's a make or break play. You either make that play, you either get that ball or it's by you. You just have a split second to react, and Howard Johnson reacted perfectly.
8-2 New York, middle of the 8th. We're back after this from Bud Light. What a play. And on the mound, Storm Davis.
Storm Davis with a record of 2-7, no saves, and a 6.34 ERA.
And Mookie Wilson, the batter. It was Mookie Wilson who had that single to open up the 7th inning. Lost in the sun by center fielder Stan Jefferson. The Mets were only winning 3-2 at the time. Then the roof really fell in. A couple of walks, sacrifice fly. And after Greg Booker entered the game to get Kevin McReynolds on a line drive out to right field with 2 outs, Howard Johnson walked to load the bases. Barry Lyons was hit by a pitch. And then Rafael Santana, 2 RBIs to right field following a wild pitch. And Mookie gets his second hit in 2 innings. And he's at first base with nobody out.
That's one of the great banners of the year. Right there.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I really don't know what that means.
No, I don't know what that would do either. If you corked your microphone, we probably couldn't hear you.
Tim Tuefel, the batter. Timmy 1 for 3, a walk and a run scored in that debacle of a 7th inning. And a fastball for a strike for from Storm Davis, and he has really had a rocky year. Storm's been very appropriate name this year for Davis.
Back when Davis was with Baltimore, it appeared to many, and many within the Baltimore organization, that he was going to be the next Jim Palmer. It really looked to him to be a starting pitcher and a good one. Things just didn't work out.
There goes Wilson, the throw by Bochy, not in time. For Wilson, stolen base number 17 on the year.
Wilson with a big jump. Bochy staying back, didn't really fire out and wasn't really in a good throwing position. Mookie in there well ahead of the throw.
Make that 18. Mookie had stolen a base in the 7th inning, so 18 stolen bases. And Tuefel rifles one down the right field line, fair ball. Wilson scores. Tuefel with his second double of the ball game, and the Mets lead it 9-2.
Well, you just can't say enough about what Tim Tuefel continues to do. In the beginning of the season, people talked about how hot he was. Well, he's still there. He entered this game hitting .337, and he is 2 for 4 with a pair of doubles, a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. When chasing the ball down, Tuefel had doubled down the left field line in the third, and this time he just goes the other way.
Line to line with Considine. Hernandez takes a fastball low. Tuefel now with 88 hits and 34 extra base hits. What a year. Fastball high, 2-0 to Hernandez, 9-2 New York.
Giants have scored 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning. They lead 5-2 over the Montreal Expos. And the Cardinals, of course, winning over Cincinnati.
That game now 9-3 in the top of the 6th, 3-0 to Hernandez.
If everything stays the way it is, the Mets will be back in second place, but they will still be 4.5 behind St. Louis. Montreal would drop back to 5 games back in third place.
Hernandez swinging and lifts one deep to center. Jefferson back near the wall, and he makes the play. Boy, Keith hit that ball a ton to center field on the play. Tuefel goes to third base. So there's one away.
Well, Hernandez really hammers this ball, but got under it just a little bit, and the wind has shifted around and actually probably kept this ball in the ballpark. As prior to this inning, the wind rather was blowing more toward left center. This inning, it's blowing more directly in from center, and Keith showing his frustration.
Here's Darryl Strawberry. Ooh, what a cut he had. A couple of RBIs for Darryl and his 31st home run back in the 4th.
Whenever you see a hitter foul a ball straight back over the catcher and umpire like Darryl did there, he didn't miss it by very much.
Slider is inside, 1-1. Mets have never trailed in this game. Game was tied in the top of the 5th inning when San Diego scored that 1 run. And the Mets took the lead again in the bottom of the 5th and then broke it open in the 7th with 5 markers, 1 and 2 to Strawberry. Those Cubbies have tied the Astros in Chicago 2-2. Rubber game of that 3-game series. Houston, interestingly, sweeps the Cardinals, and then the Cardinals go to Cincinnati and are in the process of sweeping the Reds. So the Cardinals have bounced back. Ball 2.
And in sweeping the Cardinals, or rather in sweeping the Reds, the Cardinals are helping the Astros.
Right. Houston goes to St. Louis tomorrow evening for a 3-game series. Houston's really getting their pitching in order, are they not? Probably the best pitching in the National League. Popped up and playable. Gary Templeton, the shortstop, into shallow center field, and Tuefel cannot advance. So there are 2 outs, and the batter, Kevin McReynolds.
And coming around to the plate, Mets left fielder, Kevin McReynolds.
Kevin 0 for 4. He was on an error in the 6th inning. 9-2, New York leading. It's like an early fall for this area this year, doesn't it, Steve?
Well, I'll tell you, I couldn't believe it when I walked out of the hotel this morning, how cool it was.
Beautiful. It's almost like an early October day this afternoon. 0-1 to McReynolds.
Of course, you like those days because you never get cold.
That's correct. Fastball is low, 1-1.
I have seen you cold one time.
Well, I've been cold on more. I just refuse to give in to the cold weather. Sharply to short. Templeton, however, throws out McReynolds. Well, the Mets do score 1 on a couple of hits. They strand 1. And after 8, have things fully under control. 9-2 New York, and we're back after this from the good old skies.
42,767 at its peak. Paid crowd 42,951. The Mets have gone over the 2.4 million person mark, and they lead in attendance. Bruce Bochy batting for the first time, hits one off of home plate. Foul.
How about that ball? What'd that do?
It must have hit the edge of the plate or something.
Yeah, I guess it did.
Crazy. As you see, Bochy hitting 143, 2 homers, 10 RBIs. High and away from Barry Lyons. 1-1. Bruce Bochy, the only player in the big leagues to ever wear a larger size batting helmet than Tim McCarver.
Had to bring that up. He wears a size 8.
At least they didn't have to special order yours, right? Like they do.
That's
his.
right. I wore a 7 3/4.
Nope. Big. Nosed you out by a quarter of an inch. He gets jammed on the hands, but gets a base hit as he muscles it into left field. Leading off the 9th inning.
The next batter, the left
Good
fielder,
sinker by
Marvell
McDowell, right in on the
Wynn.
hands, but Bruce very strong, and it's exactly what he did. Little clunker to left center.
So Bochy at first with nobody out for Marvell Wynn, who is 0 for 3. Marvell has flied out twice and grounded out. And he rips one into center field. Mookie over and makes the catch on the line drive again, fighting the ball all the way. 1 away.
And Mookie has really had an adventurous day in center field. Mookie looks like he has it all the way and then dive to the right. It is a tough Sun field. As a matter of fact, it was Mookie Wilson's base hit to lead off the 7th. Lost in the sun by Stanley Jefferson.
Gary Templeton 2 for 3. And he hits the first pitch to shortstop. Santana goes to second for 1. At first, not in time. So 2 out as Bochy is erased on the 4 split. Templeton will be first on the fielder's choice.
You know, Steve, I just thought of something. Mets trailing or leading by 7 runs. Technically, as you see, Chris Brown on deck.
Number 35.
McDowell could finish the game, give up 6 runs, and get credit for a save.
It's true.
Because he entered the game with 1 out in the 7th inning. One of the inconsistencies of the rule, really. The Mets were leading by only 1 run. Dwight Gooden obviously will get credit for the win, but technically McDowell could give up 6 runs and still get credit for the save if he finishes the ball game.
That's right. Of course, if he gave up that many runs, he might not finish the ball game.
True.
But you're right. That's one of the inconsistencies of the rule. But the rule has to be there for any circumstance. And the Mets, of course, scored 5 in the 7th, which blew the game out of proportion. And a ball, 2 balls and no strikes to Chris Brown, hitting .226, 8 homers, 28 RBIs. Strike 1, 2-1. So McDowell trying to pick up save number 18 without going through that scenario.
You don't want to jack that ERA up in the process.
Fouled away. 2-2. Brown, of course, coming to the Padres in the trade with San Francisco that sent former Met Kevin Mitchell to the Giants. Looked pretty good, but got away from Barry Lyons for ball 3, 3-2.
Most of the time, if the catcher doesn't catch the ball, you won't get the strike. The ball may have been a little low, but made it look low because Barry didn't hold on to it.
So a full count. Templeton will be running from first. And the pitch fouled off. So Gehrig back to first. And the count still 3-2 to Brown. The Mets will welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers tomorrow night here at Shea Stadium. 3 night games, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll be back with you on Tuesday night at 7:30 for the middle game of that series before the Mets close it out and use the Thursday off day to travel to the West Coast. Grounded in the hole by a diving Howard Johnson for a base hit into left field. Templeton to third as the throw from McReynolds goes to second to hold Brown at first. That's the first hit given up, or the second hit rather, given up by Roger McDowell. Both have come here in this inning.
Third baseman, Luis Salazar.
Oh, Joe, a good jump. The ball just trickles under his glove. Hit fairly well by Brown.
So here's Luis Salazar, who is 0 for 1. He grounded to second his only at bat in the 7th inning. Now the home plate area completely encased in shadow. Sometimes can have an effect on a hitter. Check swing. Tuefel over in the hole, and he will throw him out at first base to end the ball game. So a big day for Tim Tuefel, who appropriately closes it out. Roger McDowell pitches the last 2 2/3 to pick up his 18th save of the year, giving up 2 hits but no runs. And Dwight Gooden, who went 6 1/3, is the winner. Dwight winning his 11th against 4 losses. The loser is starter Eric Nolte for San Diego, whose record now is 1-2, as the Mets win it 9-2 over the Padres and salvage 1 game of this 3-game series. Tim and I'll be right back to wrap it up. And of course, Ralph will be along with Kiner's Corner for you in a few minutes, so stay with us. The final again, New York 9, San Diego 2, and we're back to Shea after this for American Express.
Well, today's Old Spice player of the ball game, Darryl Strawberry, whose home run in the 4th inning put the Mets on top by a single run, then a sacrifice fly that came in the 7th inning, gave him a little cushion to make it 4-2, and the Mets went on to win the ball game 9-2. Darryl Strawberry, Old Spice player of the ball game. Old Spice makers of Old Spice aftershave and now new wide fast track deodorant bring you an Old Spice salute, and Darryl Strawberry, our player of the game. The executive producer and director of Padres baseball, Steve Silverman. Our next televised game will be on Friday, September the 4th from Busch Stadium at St. Louis, when the Padres take on the St. Louis Cardinals beginning at 5 p.m. The front-running St. Louis Cardinals, incidentally. I'm Jerry Coleman along with Dave Campbell, reminding you to stay tuned for the post-game show coming up in just a moment. Final score again, New York 9, San Diego 2. This is the Padres Television Baseball Network.
The 1987 Padres on television. This San Diego Padres telecast has been brought to you by Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light. By your San Diego County Mitsubishi Motors dealers, who invite you to test drive their full line of 1987 cars and trucks.
For the rest of the year, and that September should be interesting. Well, the star of the ball game today, both offensively and defensively, Tim Tuefel of the New York Mets. Offensively today, Tuefel with 2 doubles and a walk, an RBI, and a run scored, and he drove the ball deep in his 2 outs as well. So Tim Tuefel, who also made some fine plays in the field, the Budweiser star of the game. And we'll be right back with a final word from Shea after this word for Bud Light. 2 runs on 9 hits. They committed 3 errors. Dwight Gooden, the winner, is now 11-4. Roger McDowell is 18th save, and Eric Nolte, the loser, is 1-2. And we'll see you again on Tuesday night. Timmy?
All right, Steve, New York Mets baseball has been brought to you by Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light. By Nissan, who invites you to test drive a hot new Nissan car or truck and see why Nissan makes you feel like driving. By Manufacturers Hanover, the financial source worldwide. By Burger King, where you get juicy, flame-broiled burgers, the best food for fast times. By the American Express card, don't leave home without it. And by AT&T, the right choice. Yes, this afternoon we'll receive a Master Mechanic 7¼ circular saw, belt sander, variable speed reversing drill, and a jigsaw exclusively from True Value Hardware stores. And an Emerson 19-inch diagonal color television with auto color control system. As Steve said, be with us again on Tuesday when the Mets take on the Los Angeles Dodgers at 7:30 p.m. right here on WWOR-TV. Now stay tuned for Kiner's Corner. Ralph's guest this afternoon, a guy who played a marvelous ball game, Tim Tuefel. The executive producer of Mets Baseball 87 is Rick Miner, produced and directed by Bill Webb. On the preceding telecast were approved and contracted for by Sterling Doubleday Enterprises, LP. Mets Baseball.
Kiner's Corner is brought to you by Miller Brewing Company.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Kiner's Corner. The Mets winning by a big score today of 9-2 over the San Diego Padres. They salvaged the last game of the 3-game series with San Diego. They now lead 5-4. In the 9 games played with the San Diego Padres. Our guest is going to be Tim Tuefel, who was the star of the ball game, and we'll talk to Tim right after this message from Miller Light Beer. Well, our guest in the show is Tim Tuefel, who had a great day in the field and also had 2 doubles at the plate, and he has a 6-game hitting streak, and in the 6 games he's batting .500 as he came up 2 for 4 here today. And Tim, I guess the play of the game was in the 5th inning with the Mets leading by a score of 2-1. The San Diego Padres got a run on a play that was a single up the middle, but you threw out the runner trying to score from second and home. And that ball took a terrible bounce. You made a great play out of it.
Yeah, that was a ball hit up the middle, and I kind of backhanded it, and I kept my eye on the runner at third base rounding. I knew I didn't have a play at first, so I threw one hopper in to Barry Lyons, and Barry Lyons really held his ground. That kept the score at 2-2, and then the Mets went on to go ahead 3-2 and then blow it open later. Let's take a look at a couple of other good plays. They were in the 8th inning. Here's Randy Reddy at the plate, and then after him, Tony Gwynn. Yeah, that was an inside-out swing. Randy Reddy goes the other way real well with the ball, and that's what he did in that instance. And then Tony Gwynn came up with this tough play here. Yeah, Tony Gwynn's a great hitter. He uses all parts of the field, and he hit that one up the middle. I just happened to get up there and backhand it, throw him out. Well, you had a total of 9 chances in the ball game today. They really put the test to you. And everyone's talking about the fact that you're feeling better this year than last. Any special reason for that? Well, right now we worked hard. Buddy Harrelson, of course, our infield instructor, has worked hard with me. And when you don't get to play every day like I do, you know, you need as much practice off the field as well as on. And Buddy takes me to the side before the games, and we work hard at ground balls. And that definitely helps me throughout the games. Well, you've had 10 home runs so far this year. You got your 24th two-base hit as you got 2 doubles in the ball game today. And let's take a look at what we call the Tuefel Shuffle. Does this really help you, this little movement in here? Yeah, it gets my weight distribution to the back, and then I could drive through the ball. And it just seems to be working this year, and I'm not going to leave it. The Tuefel Shuffle seems to be right there. So there's no sense of changing anything that works. And right now I'm real happy with the results. You know, another great hitter did that. That was Stan Musial. He used to shake himself into position like that. Well, I'm nowhere near Stan Musial, but whatever works at the time. And at the moment, this is something that's helped me relax and drive the ball. Well, you're hitting close to 340 this year. It's been a great year for you, and you're hitting with great authority, and it really has helped the Mets. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like I'm contributing. Every chance I get to play, you know, it might be 3 days off and 3 on, but when I have that opportunity, I seem like I'm doing the job. I'm real happy about what's going on. Okay, Tim, congratulations on a fine day. We look forward to seeing you again.